What is happening, PGA DFS fans? Welcome to the Players Championship. As the week rolls on, it's Tuesday morning here. The coffee is on the pot and brewing as we got to keep things moving along as it's the biggest, or I should say fifth biggest week of the PGA DFS year, the Players Championship. Make sure you like and subscribe. We've got a plethora of fantastic content coming out this week for the players to help you with your bets, your PGA DFS, and so much more. So best way to get notified about these videos is to like and subscribe to our Awesemo YouTube channel and our OddsChecker channel as well. Our new channel focused just on sports betting. So let's go ahead and dive right into this video sponsored by Yahoo. I'll tell you about a sweet deal we've got going on with them in just a little bit. But first, let's start with the top 5 values. It is very rare, I should say pretty rare, maybe not very rare, pretty rare that when I first look down the salary list and the first 2 names that I click on top 2 values, that's typically how I do things, end up being the top 2 projected values on the board as well, based on the Awesemo DFS projections, part of our Awesemo Plus Platinum package. So let's go ahead and give you those 2 names. If you took a look at my course in player preview, you would have already heard these 2 golfers. So let's go ahead and tell them to you again. Aaron Wise, he is the top projected value based on our projections, coming in at just $6,600 this week on DK and $26 on Yahoo. His course history here, not that great, 65th in a miscut, but we've seen a transition in his game back to top form over the last year. So I'm not really all that concerned that he hasn't finished really where I'd like him to. And I want to turn more into recent form. Last week, he lost 4 strokes with his putter, 4.4 to be exact, and still found his way into the top 20. Not many golfers can do that. But he's actually been a lot better with his putter than that this year. It's actually averaging positive strokes gained over the year, which shows that he certainly is making strides in an area that he's very difficult at. Last week, even with losing 4 strokes putting, he still had a scrambling percentage of about 78%. And for a guy that has such great ball striking skills, we love to see that. So I already mentioned his 17th place finish last week. He did miss the cut a couple of weeks ago, but it was right on the number. I mean, right on it. So, and not all miscuts are made equal. You've probably heard me say that before. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at his strokes gained for this year. He's 37th off the tee, having a pretty good season. On the approach, 62nd. On the around the green work, 66th, and 129 putting. While I'd like him to be in the top 100, still having those top 3 strokes gained tee to green categories all rank inside the top 65. That's the type of profile you need to win here at TPC Sawgrass. You need to be good at all parts of your game. So like Aaron Wise a lot this week at 6,600. Equally as much as I like Corey Connors coming in at just 7,300 this week. And not only is he coming in with 7,300 this week, but he's got good course history. He came in 7th here last year with a very good Sunday, shot 6 under, 41st before that, so he's 2 for 2 in making the cut. He's coming off an 11th place finish at the Arnold Palmer Invitational last week, where he played really good during the toughest conditions of them all. So really like Corey Connors here this week. Look at his strokes gained stat for this year. Off the tee, he's ranked 5th, 49th on the approach. That's actually kind of high for him, but it's improving. Went into last week in the top, ranked in the middle of 60s, so certainly climbing up and getting his form back. And he's ranked inside the top 100 in both strokes gained around the green and putting. So we like that trend to continue here this week, and if he does, his ball striking skills should bring him up. We like Corey Connors at 7,300 quite a bit. And now, go to our third golfer, and I typically try not to look at ownership projections when I'm doing the value video here, because when we're looking at values, we don't really care about ownership. We're just looking for a golfer that could be one of the best values on the board. And Matt Fitzpatrick certainly has that this week. 7,700 on DraftKings. He's in fantastic form. He has a top 10 here, and he's probably going to be one of the highest owned players on the slate. There's no way of getting around that at this point. But let's take a look at his stats. Let's dive in anyway and see why people would like him. At least for this year, Matt Fitzpatrick, like I said, he's coming off a 9th last week at the Arnold Palmer Invitational after a good weekend. But strokes gained, I mean, it's fantastic. 16th off the tee, 17th on the approach, 63rd around the green, and 4th putting. I mean, if he ends up going out and doing that this week again, he's definitely got a chance to win. So Matt Fitzpatrick still looking maybe for that career-defining win. He's got a lot of talent. Maybe doesn't have a lot of distance off the tee, but you definitely don't need that here at Sawgrass. So Matt Fitzpatrick, highest owned, but if you mix him in with some lower owned golfers, which you can check out in my top 5 sleeper video coming up right after this, give you a little tidbit. You want to play a little bit of Tony Finau with Matt Fitzpatrick, I think you'll be fine playing the higher owned guy. All right, let's go ahead and dive into Shane Lowry, our 4th value on the board here. And I always go from a descending to an ascending salary, just so you know. Maybe not the 4th top value on the board. It's just how I do it in the video. He's also the top projected value of golfers 8,000 and above, according to our Awesemo DFS projections. And coming off a really good finish there at the Honda Classic, where he finished 2nd. And by all means, probably should have won the event, but had some conditions come in when he was hitting his tee shot on 18 that weren't seen all week, wind and rain. Now, there is some wind and rain expected this week, but I'm sure it would have changed Shane Lowry's perspective had he known, or had he had dealt with the conditions and everybody else had dealt with the conditions all week. Regardless, Shane Lowry is coming off a top 10 also here at TPC Sawgrass at the Players Championship last year. We finished 8th. Does have some variability, though. Missed the cut a couple of years ago. But that's to be expected on this golf course. All right, let's look at strokes gain rank. Lowry is the only one that doesn't have stats from this year yet. Plus, if they did, they'd all be really good because it would only be from one event, the Honda Classic. So let's go ahead and look at his last year's stats, where he was 82nd off the tee. Struggles with distance a little bit and also accuracy, so he's never going to really be in the top 50 there, likely. But on the approach, he certainly was, ranked 20th last year, 14th around the green, very good, but does give some strokes back putting. He ranked 140th last year. All right, the last value, top value on the board. This guy is the top value based on our Awesemo DFS projections of above 9,000. And this should be no surprise to anybody here either. It's Scottie Scheffler. 9,200 for him this week, and this guy is playing the best golf in the world. There is no doubt about it. His 2 wins, man, he wasn't even on the first page of the leaderboard until late Saturday in both of his wins. Just crazy comebacks, but it's the way he gets it done. We look at his course history. He's only played once. He missed the cut, so maybe a little something there. If he is going to be highly owned, maybe you want to look the other side, but I think he provides great stability and value. We look at his strokes gain rank, 73rd off the tee. It's definitely a little bit better than that. 15th on the approach, 36th around the green, and 19 putting. That's pretty good. Probably the weakest part of his game is off the tee, where he can pipe it out there with the best of them and typically hits more fairways. Now, he hasn't this year, but look at the courses he's played. The courses that he's played, fairways are not easy to hit, including last week at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. In fact, he hit less than 50% of his fairways on Sunday and still found a win. So shows you the upside of his game. All right, that's going to do it here for my top 5 values. Would love to hear what you guys think about them. Leave your comments in the box below. Also want to shout out to Yahoo again, the sponsor of this show. Tell you about a quick little deal we have going on with them before we get on out of here. All you got to do, if you haven't signed up for Yahoo yet, now you should, because you're going to get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum if you do. All you got to do, sign up, make a deposit, and enter your first paid contest. Let's say you decide to go for the PGA DFS one, the baller that starts on Thursday, and you want access to the Yahoo projections for this week from Awesemo. All you got to do is send an email to support@awesemo.com. Let them know that you have signed up and deposited and entered to play in this week's contest, and they will get you all squared away. So take advantage of that deal. All right, everybody, that's going to do it from here at the Players Championship. It's going to be a wet one. There's no doubt about it. But let's still see if we can take down the big prizes. So until next week, everybody, at the Valspar Championship, we'll see you on the other side. Cheers.